In my July monthly budget tips video, I talked about how it's time to start getting ready for Christmas and how to do sinking funds for Christmas because there's still enough time. And I wanted to break that down a little bit further. There still is time. We're 6 months away from Christmas. Let's talk about preparing for Christmas because it's one of our biggest expenditures of the year. People go crazy with giving and they go into debt for that, and that is scary. I want to get a handle on our Christmas budget now.
Hi, I'm Megan with Bethel Budgets. I'm here because it's more than just math. At some point, you've probably built a budget. You've laid out your income, you've laid out your expenses, and thought it's simple math. I'll just stick to what's on the paper. But then life happened and your budget didn't work out. The reason? Because it's more than just math. That's where I come in. Let's figure this out together. Don't give up. You've got this.
I want to talk about 3 things in this video. 1, I want to talk about who are you going to buy for and what are you going to buy. 2, I want to talk about setting a budget. And 3, I want to talk about how to prepare and save for that. So we're going to really get our Christmas spending under control. We're going to do that now in July while we still have 6 months to prepare. Let's jump in. One of the first things I want you to do and think about is to make a list of everybody that you buy for. Everybody that you think you need to buy for, everybody that you want to buy for. I want you to be really thorough in this list. I want you to think about all of your family, all of your friends, all of your coworkers, all of the teachers at your kids' school, everybody that all your neighbors, maybe you do stuff for neighbors too, everybody that you have bought for in the past that you wish you could buy for. Let's make that list. Once you've made that list, now what we're going to do is we're going to pare it down. We're going to start figuring out who on this list needs a gift from us and who on this list do we want to buy for. Wanting to give is a good thing, but we need to check our motives on why we want to give these people a gift, and we need to just check our boundaries. We need to put some good, healthy boundaries around our giving. So first, let's talk about some of these wants versus needs. These are going to lead to conversations. You need to have some conversations with your spouse or whoever you share a budget with around who they think is a want and a need on this Christmas budget. Maybe they think certain family members are needs and you think certain family members are wants on this list. These are conversations that need to happen. Also, conversations with friends. My best friend and I, a long time ago, we had a conversation. We were like, we're not doing this, right? Like, I'm good. I don't need anything from you. I just want to spend time with you. And she said, I'm good. I don't need anything from you. I just want to spend time with you. So we made a pact. We're not buying each other gifts. We're not buying each other's kids gifts. We're good. We don't need anything. Then there are the colleagues at work. Do they need gifts or not? Maybe you feel like you need to get your boss a gift and maybe you don't. And if you do need to get your boss a gift, does it have to be a purchased gift or can this be one of the homemade things? I'm going to talk more about homemade gifts in a minute. Then you have the teachers. If you're buying things for teachers, I think it's a fantastic idea to buy something for the teachers. Your teacher is with your kids all day long, day in, day out. Do your kids' teachers deserve a nice gift? Absolutely they do. But does it fit into what your financial goals are and how you're trying to budget out your Christmas? Maybe not. Maybe instead of buying them a nice gift, you get them a gift card instead. Maybe instead of a gift card, you get them a thing of cookies. Going back to family and what family needs a purchased gift and what family doesn't. Your grandparents, your kids' grandparents, your parents, and your grandparents, they don't need a brand new purchased item. What we switched to a couple years ago was we made things for the grandparents. That means more to a grandparent than any $50 gift or $25 gift you could purchase for them. What we've started doing now is we do a family photo session. So we'll go do a photo session as a family, and I keep track of which sizes each grandparent has in their frame, on their wall or on their mantle or whatever. And so we go get a new family portrait done every year, and I give them a printout, and we make a nice envelope and color it as a family. And every year they just can expect they're going to get a family portrait from us, and that is their gift every year. And nobody's complained. I think that they enjoy that. They have everything that they need. What they want are things that remind them of the people that they love. You can save a fortune if you think of thoughtful gifts. I'm not saying cheap gifts, I'm saying thoughtful gifts. So your coworkers don't need a gift. Make them some cookies, or don't do anything at all. Give them a card. Just say hi, Merry Christmas. You know, whatever your budget can allow, but you don't have to do anything fancy. Grandparents, do meaningful things. Teachers, same thing, you can do meaningful things for them. Another way that you could pare down that list of people that you have to shop for is to sort of gamify Christmas. So you can do this at Thanksgiving, or you can do this now. You can start talking about this now. For example, my sisters and I, there's 4 of us, we do a sibling exchange. So we will draw a name when we go on vacation in July as a family. We'll do a name draw. So each of us draws a name. So we're only buying for one sister. Instead of all 3 sisters, I only have to buy for 1. Now you can do the nieces and nephews the same way. If my sisters and I have all agreed, we don't buy for all of the nieces and nephews. We do a kid exchange. So the kids are also drawing names for cousins. We've done that way, or we've done a rob your neighbor, where we've gotten, Nana does this, my mom does this, so she'll go and she'll get a bunch of gifts, and then the kids will play rob your neighbor. So we're not missing out on gifts. There's always something to unwrap. It's not like we are bah humbugs or anything. They have something to unwrap, and they're having fun, and they're playing a game, but it is not where I'm buying 13 gifts. I'm buying 1. Or if I have 4 kids and we've drawn 4 names, then we're buying 4 gifts. It's much more frugal. It's much more easy on the budget. It's just easier on the budget. You have to be able to set boundaries and have those conversations. If gamifying it helps to keep it fun while keeping it frugal, do that. Have those conversations with your families and see what you can do to have an enjoyable Christmas without breaking the bank. The next thing to talk about with who to buy for and what to buy is buying for your own kids. Buying for your own kids is one area people can go nuts in. You have to be really careful. We established the 4-gift Christmas at our house years ago, and I'm so glad we did. I, of course, me being me, and I am extra, as my kids would say, and I do too much, but I took it a step further and I wrote this big long poem. So I'm tying it all back to the nativity scene on the mantle. And so there's a gift of swaddling clothes. So that's the clothes. So it's want, need, wear, read. Want is gold. There's myrrh, there's frankincense, and swaddling clothes. So they get all of those gifts. So they get one of each of those things: want, need, wear, read. And it keeps, everybody knows there's 4 gifts. Every gift is wrapped a certain way. So the want gift is always wrapped in gold paper. The read is wrapped in brown paper, because I've related that to myrrh, the gift of myrrh, because it's supposed to be a devotional. The kids will get a devotional or a book, something to read. Frankincense is a need, and it's wrapped in white. And then the swaddling clothes is something to wear. And so that's wrapped in a pillowcase. So it's wrapped in cloth. So they know that those 4 gifts are going to be under the tree, and they know what to expect. And we read a little poem and they open a gift. We read a little poem and they open a gift. So it adds structure. It's not mass chaos, and it adds meaning to the Christmas morning. And it's been really, really enjoyable, and it keeps the spending to a minimum. It also, kids are big on fairness, so everybody has 4 gifts. Now I keep it to where every kid gets like a dollar amount. So it was about $100 for each kid. If I buy a pack of socks, that's $10, and they have a really big want that year, more of their money gets funneled into their want. So maybe their need would be a new water bottle, and that's a small item too. So they get, it's not like 25, 25, 25, 25, it's $100 per kid. And if their want is really big, then I make their other things really small, or vice versa. It just depends on what their wants or needs are for that year. Now, I did up it. My kids are getting older and things are just getting more expensive. So I did up it to $150 last year, and we stayed between $130 and $150 for each kid. The other thing they get is we get a family gift. So they each get their want, need, wear, read, and then we get a family gift. One year was a trampoline, one year it was a basketball hoop, so it's something like the whole family can enjoy. Sometimes it's just a big board game that we can play as a family. So besides the 4 gifts that they get from mom and dad and the family gift, then Santa also brings a gift. And that's how we do our Christmas, and that's how we've kept our spending under control. Okay, so we've talked about who we're gonna buy for, and we've sorted it out between wants versus needs, how we can gamify this and keep our spending down, and how we can do some homemade gifts and other ideas for gifts that we can do to stay within our financial goals for Christmas and not go nuts here. So now we're gonna talk about how to set up our Christmas budget. So what you're going to do is you're gonna take this knowledge of who you're going to buy for and kind of what categories they fall in, and you're going to estimate, and you're going to estimate kind of high on what you need financially to spend for your Christmas budget. So we're going to look at those homemade gifts first, and however many people kind of fell into that homemade gift category and what your homemade gifts are going to be. So for example, maybe we have 6 people we're going to bake batches of cookies for. So if I estimate I need to make about 6 batches of cookies, and I calculate my cellophane baggies and my ribbon, I'm thinking, so it would probably be about $29 in cookies, $30 in cookies, $12 for the ribbon, and $8 for the cellophane bags. So we're about at $50 for my homemade gifts. So I would estimate how many people I need for my homemade gifts and the price for that project, and then I'd come up with that amount to be saved. So my amount in my example would be about $50. The next thing you're going to do is your family pictures. It's good to get family pictures anyway, but that is my way for taking care of family that I want to show that they are loved. I want to get them a gift without breaking the bank and knowing that my grandma doesn't need anything. She will tell me, don't buy me a gift. I don't want a gift. But I want to acknowledge her on Christmas, so we give her a family portrait. And we do that with a number of our family members. So how much does it cost to get pictures taken? What is the sitting fee? How many prints am I gonna print? Am I gonna have the photographer print those? Or am I gonna go to Walgreens and print those? What is in your budget? How much are you going to spend? And I kind of looked back. I think last year we spent $200 for our sitting fee. I'm gonna up that another $50. I keep upping things for this year because everything seems to be more expensive. I have no idea and couldn't find before I started filming this how much I spent at Walgreens. I did Walgreens for my photo printing last year for my pictures. I know some photographers are just gonna be like, oh, that's awful. The quality is so bad and it's so, it's so cheap. And, someday I will buy nice prints from my photographer, but I just can't do it right now. So whoops, I'm shaking the camera. So I do mine from Walgreens, and I'm sorry about that, please forgive me, but that's what I do. So I'm estimating that to be about $330 for portraits, sitting, and printouts for that. So I'm estimating about $330 for that. And then the next thing you have to think about is who is left after you've pared down that list. How many adults do you need to buy for, and what's your price point per person? I try to keep my spending at $25 per person. It's enough to say, I love you, here's a gift, Merry Christmas, but not break the bank. We don't have a lot of money to be spending on people for Christmas, and I don't think that's what Christmas is all about anyway. So I try to keep it around $25 per person. Do I go a little bit more than that sometimes? Yes. Do I go a little bit less than that sometimes? Yes. But I also want it to be a thoughtful gift. I'm not just getting somebody a gift because I have to get them a gift. I hate being put in that position, and I don't want you to do that either. If you honestly start to feel like you have to get them a gift, you really need to examine whether they're on your want or your need list for gift giving. So think about how many people you need to buy for and what do you want to spend per person. So I had to break this down a little bit differently. So my kids, they get their 4-gift Christmas, so I'm putting them at about $150 each. We do $100 for the Santa gift, $100 for the family gift, Let me get my calculator here. I think I missed math this on my. So we got about 200 in adult gifts. We got about 600 in the kid gifts, 100 in gifts from the big guy, and 100 in for the family gift is our goal. So that's right at $1,000 for our purchased gifts for this Christmas. So homemade gifts was 50, pictures was 330, and purchased gifts would be right about 1,000. So that is sort of the budget that we are setting for our family. That's a total of $1,330. And that's how you're gonna start setting up your budget in each of those different categories. So now we're gonna work on how to prepare and save all of this amount of money that we need to have ready for Christmas. So we need all this money ready by December. How are we going to do it? So number one, we've totaled each of those categories. So we already did that. We have $50 for our homemade gifts. We have $330 for our family portraits, and we have $1,000 that we need for our purchased gifts. Then you're gonna take how many months you have until Christmas, and you're gonna divide the amount of money that you need by the amount of months that are left, and that is going to give you the amount of money you need to put aside each and every single month to be prepared for this Christmas sinking fund. So in the example that I gave, I had $50 for homemade gifts, I had $230 for family pictures, and $1,000 in purchased gifts. That totals $1,330. I have 6 months in which to save to be able to spend that for Christmas. So that means that I need to save $221.66 every single month from July to December in order to be able to spend all of that money for Christmas. What am I gonna do? That feels like a lot of money. First, don't panic. It will be okay. Most people can find a little bit of extra in their monthly budget. $221, that feels like a lot, but I think you can do this. Don't panic. First of all, you can sell stuff. Go around your house. You've got Facebook Marketplace. You can have a garage sale. What do you have around your house that you don't need anymore that you can get rid of? Do a little sell everything challenge. The Budget Babes right now in July are doing a sell everything challenge. We're getting rid of all of the things we don't need, and we're taking the money that we make from selling everything that we don't need, and we're putting it into our emergency fund, our paying off debt, or our sinking funds. So you can sell everything that you don't need right now and put that into your Christmas sinking fund. The more seed money you put into that sinking fund, the smaller that $221 is gonna get. That amount that you need to put in there every single month is going to shrink and shrink and shrink the more money that you put in there at once. The next thing is we live in a gig economy. If you feel like you're not going to be able to save $221.66 every single month from now until December, what small thing can you do to boost your income? Do you have a BioLife near you that you can donate your plasma to and earn a little bit of money on the side? Could you go do Instacart or DoorDash or something like that to gain a little extra money to save up for Christmas? We live in a gig economy. There's most likely something that you can do on the side somewhere to earn just a tiny bit of extra income to boost your Christmas sinking fund. And the next thing is what areas are in your monthly budget, your regular monthly budget, that you could trim in order to put that money into your Christmas sinking fund. Maybe you've been dining out a lot and you could have that budget. So if you're spending $200 a month on dining out, you could maybe go down to $100 a month in dining out and put that other $100 into your sinking fund instead. A couple less trips through the drive-through is totally worth it, in my opinion, in order to not go into debt at Christmas. You can bring your lunch, you can make yourself a lunch at home in order to be more prepared for Christmas and have this sinking fund fully met. You can do this. I know you can. The other thing to think about here is this $1,330, at least for my budget. This $1,000 here is going to, you don't do all of that shopping necessarily in December. Sometimes you start earlier in November, so it doesn't always have to hit so hard in November. You can start doing some of your Christmas shopping now and that will sort of offset. So you'll have money going in and you'll have money coming out. And so it doesn't quite feel so bad in December. This whole $1,300 doesn't come out all at the same time. It comes out through a lot of different small transactions, usually starting in November on Black Friday. If you're a Black Friday shopper, look for deals, plan ahead what you can do and think of. But this sinking fund is really the way to go for Christmas. It's a big expense and it happens mostly in 1 month. And it's something that you're gonna do whether you're prepared or not. So the more prepared you can be, the better. This will keep you from going into debt. This will keep you from blowing your savings. If you start saving now, you can be, even if you're not fully prepared with your whole $1,300, the closer you will be, the better shape you will be in. So start now, start in July, start preparing for your Christmas sinking fund. This is not just for Christmas. I've been using this example as a Christmas sinking fund, and we're in July and we're 6 months ahead. But the other thing that happens in December is personal property tax. That's another one that hits hard. I'm not gonna pretend that I can tell you how to figure out what your personal property tax can be. There are calculators for that. Go look it up. But there are other adulting things that you need to be saving up for that are no fun, but that you need sinking funds for, like personal property tax, that happens in December, like insurance payments, and home projects. One of my budget babes is right now saving up for new windows. What a boring, non-fun adulting thing to save for, but she has to have new windows, so she has to save for those. And rather than going into debt for it or taking a big hit, she is planning ahead and she is saving for those windows. These kinds of sinking funds work the same way for other holidays too. You've got Halloween, that's a big one. Some people go all out for Halloween just like they do for Christmas. So you can save up for Halloween. So instead of 6 months to save, you have 4 months, but you can use the same formula. Figure out what you're spending in different categories. What are you spending on decorations? What are you spending on food? What are you spending on costumes? Put all of that into a total, divide it by 4 months, because it's only 4 months to Halloween, and start saving that amount of money put aside every month until Halloween. And then there's also July 4th. We just had the 4th of July. We just had Independence Day. I want you to calculate all your expenses from the 4th of July and put that into a sinking fund for next year. You have a very accurate number because you just did it. You just went to all the fairs. You just bought all the fireworks. You just had all the barbecue food expenses. Calculate what you spent. Put that aside into a sinking fund for next year and start saving that money. So you got 12 months to save for that one. Another great sinking fund to start is vacations. Whether it's a small weekend trip or a huge week-long vacation, you need to be you need to be saving for that trip in a sinking fund. You know, a year from now you're going to Florida for vacation. Estimate how much that's going to cost. You might have an actual number. That's great. Divide that number by 12, start saving up. This is super important. It helps you to strengthen your monthly budget. It helps to strengthen your emergency fund, and it helps to keep you out of debt. In my opinion, the more sinking funds, the better off you will be, the better off your emergency fund, the better off your savings, the better off your monthly budget. Get yourself some sinking funds. You can do this. I know you can. Keep going. You've got this.